am a sex priestess, and I am here to initiate men. Yes, I know what that title does to people. Some of you just leaned in. Some of you just flinched. Some of you are already composing the comment that you're about to leave. Good, that's the reaction that tells me everything. Because this reaction, the mixture of fascination, discomfort, curiosity, and judgment, is exactly what has followed me my entire life. And it is exactly what follows any woman who dares to stand at the intersection of the sacred and the sexual and say, this is real, this is holy, and I will not apologize for it. My name is Luna Ora, for those of you who don't know me. I am an author of 9 books. I am a priestess of the temple of Isis and Lilith. I have spent over a decade guiding men and women through the deepest work of their lives. Shadow integration, sacred sexuality, rites of passage, emotional healing, and the kind of transformation that cannot be faked or performed. And I am here right now to talk about men. Not because men are broken, but because they need to be not because they need to be fixed or softened or lectured into better behavior. I am here to talk about men because I love them. Because I have witnessed again and again what happens when a man finally stops hiding from himself, and I cannot unsee it. Now, here is something that no one talks about. There are thousands of male coaches, teachers, and self-help experts who make their entire career out of telling women how to heal, how to open, how to love better, how to be more feminine, how to stop being too much or too enough or not enough. And this is accepted, celebrated even. A man standing in front of a room full of women telling them how to access their power is considered wisdom. But if a woman she dares to speak to men, who dares to say, I see what is happening inside of you and I know a way back, she gets something very different. She gets defensiveness, ridicule, accusations of overstepping. Men who have never met her deciding with great confidence that she has no business being here. Women sometimes who feel threatened by her proximity to masculine spaces. Comments designed to not to engage with what she is saying, but to make her stop saying it, to shut her up, basically. And I have received all of that. And I want to be honest with you because it used to land. Not because it was true, but because I am a woman. And like most women, I was trained from a very young age to make myself smaller when my presence made others uncomfortable, to question my own authority, to wonder if perhaps they were right. Perhaps this was not my place. I no longer wonder that because I have sat with too many men who were quietly desperate for exactly this, who had been to the coaches and to the retreats and the workshops and the ayahuasca ceremonies, workshops built by and for men, and who came away with insights, frameworks, language, tools, everything except the one thing they actually needed: to be truly seen by a feminine force that did not need anything from them. The defensiveness, I have come to understand, is not evidence that this work is wrong. It is evidence of exactly how necessary it is. A man who does not need this work does not rage at the suggestion of it. A man who is whole, initiated, grounded in himself, he simply smiles and moves on. The ones who erupt are the ones who recognize something in the mirror and cannot bear to look. Now, I am not here for those men. Not yet, at least. I am here for the ones who feel beneath the noise of their own shadow a quiet recognition, a pull, something that says, yes, this, finally. Now, I come from the temple. This is not a metaphor. This is not a brand. I come from the original temple. Some of you perhaps read my books, The Last Priestess, and read my memories and my past life from the fall of the temple. The original temple, the ancient lineage of sacred feminine wisdom that has moved through women across time and dimension. Specifically, the tradition of what I call right now, that tradition of Isis and Lilith, which, by the way, has nothing to do with Egypt. The priestesses who once held the keys to healing, to initiation, to the sacred union of masculine and feminine as one divine force. In that tradition, women did not stand apart from men's initiation. They stood at its absolute center. The priestess was not a reward at the end of a journey. She was the mirror at the beginning of it. The one who could see the man clearly, his wounds, his armor, his excuses, his trauma, his potential, and she refused to look away from any of it. Now, I have written again about this in my books. I have lived it in ceremony. I have witnessed it in the eyes of men who came to me performing one version of themselves and left hours later weeping in a kind of relief they had never known, the relief of finally being seen. Now, I know something about men that most of the world is not saying out loud. Beneath the addiction is a man longing for purpose. Beneath the anger is a man who was never taught what to do with his pain. Beneath the performance is a man terrified of being truly known. And beneath the disconnection is a man aching for the love of a woman, for brotherhood, for meaning, for a life that feels real. I have felt this longing as though it were my own, because in many ways it is. As a woman who carries the lineage of the temple, the pain of the uninitiated masculine is not abstract to me. I have felt it in every man who came to me running from himself. I have felt it in the world, in the wars, in the violence, in the loneliness, the silent epidemic of men dying on the inside while keeping up appearances on the outside. This is personal to me. Not because I am wounded by men, and I have, like most women, but because I am devoted to them. There is a difference, and that difference is everything. Also, because I remember a world where men are sacred, where men are honorable, where men live as the love that they are, brave and free, and that is the world of the temple that I come from. This is why I created The Threshold, a 3-day immersive initiation for men who are ready, truly ready, to confront themselves, reclaim their power, and step into the grounded, embodied masculinity the world is fucking starving for. The Threshold is absolutely not therapy. It's not a festival, and it's not another weekend of spiritual performance where men cry politely on a Saturday morning and then return Monday to the same patterns, the same avoidance, the same half-life. This is a real initiation, led by a woman who has spent her life standing in the fire of the truth. A woman who loves men enough to refuse to protect them from themselves. A woman who has observed every attempt to make her doubt her place here and who is still standing. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to share what I know about the ancient truth of feminine-led initiation, especially for men, about what it means to cross a real threshold, about the men this work is calling forward, about what the world loses when men remain uninitiated, and what it gains when they finally cross. If something in you is steering right now, pay attention to that. It is not coincident that you are here listening to this. The Threshold is finally open. 20 men, 1 initiation, 1 weekend, 1 woman, and once in a lifetime. So if you are ready, begin your application down below at the link. And I love you all. Please subscribe, like, and share so I can continue making these videos and share the work of the temple. And may the goddess bless you all.